10 Surprising Facts You Did Not Know About Alexandra Daddario. Alexandra Daddario is a notable name in the entertainment industry thanks to her years as an actress. However, the actress is currently experiencing a career resurgence thanks to her appearance in The White Lotus from Mike White. The first season of the show was filmed following the COVID-19 pandemic, and Daddario nailed her role as newlywed Rachel Patton. Of course, her Emmy nomination speaks volumes about how good she was as Rachel Patton in The White Lotus. Here are 10 facts you didn't know about Alexandra Daddario. During the pandemic, Daddario went without working for a year and felt stuck wondering what might come next. She was at a place in her career where the future seemed entirely uncertain when this role came along. She wasn't sure what the future held, and her direction was unclear. It was the pandemic, so there was that warp of reality. I was still in a place in my career where yes, I had some choice about what I auditioned for, but also, I felt a little stuck and wasn't sure which direction I was going in, said the actress about the weird time between pandemic and real life. Ultimately, The White Lotus came along. Alexandra Daddario told her family at the age of 11 she would become an actress. Thankfully, they didn't discourage her. Her family knew storytelling was in her bones, and it was the one thing she felt comfortable, confident, and happy doing. Though, her family could afford her every opportunity in the world, but she knew acting was the one for her. The family business is law and politics. Both her mother and father worked as attorneys, and her father even spent years working as the head of the New York City Police Department's counterterrorism unit. Her grandfather on her father's side was involved in politics. He held a position as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. He lived in Connecticut when he ran as a Democratic member, and he held his seat in the House for 12 years. Daddario was 15 when she was hired to play a character on the hit daytime soap opera, All My Children. She spent a year in the role, but even Daddario knew she was no good. The show eventually realized she wasn't quite what they were looking for, and they let her go. She wasn't upset so much as she found it inevitable. Rather than allowing her firing to bring her down, she used it to get better. She knew she excelled at remembering her lines, but also struggled to do other things like find her light and cameras. An interesting fact about Alexandra Daddario is that she never gave up. She worked hard, took acting classes, and came back better than ever. Alexandra Daddario claims she's a jerk and a bad fan because she didn't watch the second season of her hit television show. When The White Lotus came back for a second season, she didn't watch it. It's not that she doesn't enjoy the show, but she's been busy working on other shows and projects and didn't have the time. She likely will tune in eventually, though. She's a huge fan of her former co-star Jennifer Coolidge and supports the character she plays in the show. Her White Lotus character was lost, and Daddario has revealed just wanted to see more from the character. She wanted to see her become a little more grounded, but it didn't happen for the character. Patton is a woman who had it all, and she was blatantly unhappy. Her picturesque honeymoon came crashing down around her when her husband fixated on the fact that their honeymoon suite wasn't the exact one his mother booked, and things never got better. Without giving too much away, in her character's final scene in season 1, she is seen hugging her husband and promising him in a whisper she'd be happy, and that was their happily ever after. Except it makes Daddario sad because she knows her character should be happy with all she has, but she's so deeply and personally unhappy in her life that she's simply going to fake it to make her husband happy. We don't know what she did on her honeymoon, but we are fairly certain her mother-in-law did not surprise her and her new husband in the middle of it. The actress and producer Andrew Form got married in the summer of 2022, just 6 months after he proposed. Hopefully Alexandra Daddario is having a much better married life than her White Lotus character. On the show, her character is married to Jake Lacey's character. Her on-screen husband is not an entirely likable guy. He's living on his mom and dad's money, hyper-focused on all the wrong things, and definitely gives off creepy guy vibes. However, Daddario genuinely enjoyed sharing her scenes with Lacey, who she says is nothing like his character. Jennifer Coolidge became famous for being Stifler's mom in the American Pie franchise, and later the nail tech and friend of Elle Woods in the Legally Blonde franchise, is a legendary icon. Jennifer Coolidge is sheer magic in everything she does, and we don't blame Alexandra Daddario for looking forward to the scenes she filmed with Coolidge. She especially loved filming on the boat when Coolidge's character attempted to throw her mother's ashes to the sea. Of all the Alexandra Daddario facts listed, this is perhaps the least surprising, because honestly, who doesn't love Jennifer Coolidge?